Biodiversity loss, spread of infectious diseases. Biodiversity encompasses the diversity of genes, species, and ecosystems. Increases in human populations have resulted in an unprecedented and precipitous loss of biodiversity. In the last 50 years, wildlife populations around the world have declined by 60%. In the same period of time, infectious diseases have quadrupled come into the roof.
Most of us wonder where this COVID-19 came from and how humans were infected by this disease. 75% of new emerging infectious diseases in people came from animals. Examples are Ebola, HIV, and now COVID-19. This zoonotic disease is caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2 or SARS-CoV-2. And bats are proven to be the natural reservoir. Bats incubate the virus without getting sick or don't show any symptoms because they have already adapted to the energetic demands of the flight. Evidence revealed that cages of live bats were found in the laboratory of Wuhan Institute of Virology, where conspiracy about Wuhan lab leak theory develops. It is believed that modified viruses which are violent and transmissible by mutation are produced. However, this theory needs robust investigation.
What are the specific issues and problems faced by the frontliners during COVID-19 pandemic?
So, sang start sang COVID, damo gid nato yung mga patients ang na-admit sa Western, kag tanan yung mga wards kalabanan gid convert sa COVID ward. Kag madamo gid yung mga patients ang na kalamatay tungod sa COVID, especially sa amon nga ward. May time nga may ara kami kakapatay nga 2 to 3 patients in just a matter of 12 hours. Kag may ara man kami time nga understaffing kami. May ara ka ikaw lang isa duty with your attendant, one nurse and one attendant in one ward, or in our ward we have 10 patients, COVID positive patients, and you have to take care of them just by yourself and with your attendant.
As a frontliner, how does the COVID-19 impact your life and work?
So sang pag-start gid sang COVID, grabe gid ang impact sang COVID sa amon kay tungod nga damo nga mga frontliners ang na-infect, especially sa akon. Luckily nga nakasurvive man kami sa COVID, kag hindi man naton maibitaran nina nga malatnan kita kay tungod kita ang gahandol sang aton nga COVID patients. Kag isa pa, ang amon nga duty gakalabot na siya 12 hours or more sa pag-take care sang patients nga dati 8 hours in a shift lang kami ka duty. Kag kinahanglan gid namon magsuksok sang PPE prior kami magsulod sa pasyente para nga malikawan namon nga maglatnan pagid or malatnan na kami kag ang mga upod namon sa hospital.
Situations like squeezing animals together, peeing and pooping with one another, eating the same fruit and drinking the same water increase the spread of the coronavirus. Pangolin, which is high risk for illegal animal trading, is believed to be the intermediate host of the COVID-19 because research proves that samples of coronavirus taken from the animal and infected patients are 99% identical. The transmission may be done when the bats in China releases fecal droppings as it flies, leaving a trace of coronavirus in its excrement, and pangolins sniffing for insects picks up the infection and incubates it in their body. The new virus could not affect humans by leaving the animals in the wild. Only danger arises by doing illegal wildlife farming and illegal animal trades, which also contributes to biodiversity loss. In China, the wildlife industry boosts the country's economy that paves way for the farming of wildlife for commercial purposes. Many smuggling routes for pangolin scales from Africa to parts of Asia to China, and other live and frozen pangolin are transported, showing a record in 2007 to 2016. 90,000 were smuggled in China, and in 2019, over 23 tons of pangolin scales were seized by Chinese customs officials. This is because pangolin scales are believed to heal wounds and cure rheumatism and skin diseases.
One seafood wholesale market huge with 50,000 square meters and around thousands of tenants. It is reported to be the largest seafood wholesale market in central China. It is very known for selling exotic wild animals. In Wuhan, China, lifestyle and culture is very much rich and alive. Wuhan has a deep-seated historical and cultural heritage. One of the practices that we find shocking is their wild animal farming and eating and selling wild and endangered species such as pangolins, king rat snake, raccoon dog, Chinese bamboo rat, and other wild and endangered animals. 30 to 40 wildlife species are seen in the wet market. 54% wild species are officially approved for commercial breeding and trading. Too many Chinese people eat meat or other part of rare animals. They believe that it is more nutritious to eat freshly slaughtered meat from wild animals.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease that affects people worldwide. To combat this major concern, vulnerability is a key. Many pharmaceutical companies participated in the formulation and experimental study of COVID-19 vaccine. Then, various brands of the vaccine had undergone clinical trials until the completion of its phase. As a response of the government to protect its people and recover the economy, they implemented a vaccination program to achieve herd immunity. Medical frontliners, doctors, nurses unite to encourage people through information and dissemination in order to combat fake news circulating over the internet and fight vaccine hesitancy. During the surge of COVID-19 in the Philippines with no vaccination rollouts, many cases were daily reported. However, it began to decline several months after vaccination programs, heightened alert levels subside, and lowered hospitalization and death rate. It proves that vaccination works.
In Wuhan, China, where the COVID-19 originated, the issue of illegal wildlife trafficking and trade is prevented through banning of pangolins, which are the most illegally traded mammal, rhinos, and other high-profile species. Subsequently, the government officials implemented stricter protocols, laws, and legal actions that people need to conform and follow to avoid offenses and penalties. One of them is the shutting down of 20,000 farms. The top legislative body of the country announced the permanent ban on the trade and consumption of live wild animals for food, while trade of wild animals for medicines, pets, and scientific research will be subjected to strict approval and quarantine procedures.
Nature continues its life without humans, but humans cannot live without it. As nature provides all essential life-sustaining services necessary for living and sustaining life, humans rely on it indeed. As a result, the gradual growth of human population and overexploitation of natural resources for commercial purposes to meet the demands in the market continues to be a major cause of biodiversity loss that led to the spread of infectious diseases, costing human health and well-being at alarming rates. Currently, an infectious disease known as COVID-19 virus affects the lives of every individual in most aspects of life and hampered the movement of people from their usual routines. Illegal trafficking and trade of wildlife animals, specifically the pangolins, an intermediate host of the virus, are said to be the root cause of the transmission of infectious diseases from animals to humans. According to research, pangolins get the virus from the bats, which are proven to be the natural reservoir. Pangolins are being traded due to public demands in the market for various purposes and lead to the decline of wild animals since they have lower reproductive rates. To address these issues, the government held a rolled-out vaccination against the COVID-19 virus. China shut down the 20,000 farms, banned the trade of the most illegally traded high-profile species, and implemented strictly approved and quarantine procedures for medicine, pets, and scientific research.
The COVID-19 pandemic represents a massive health crisis. This crisis placed a significant psychological burdens on individuals and affected our mental health. Aside from enforcing guidelines and protocols, following preventative measures like physical distancing, frequent hand washing, and using of masks to combat the COVID-19 virus, another important thing people should do is to change their mindset and negative behavior. What we need now is to change our thinking and negative behavior because this pandemic is still on the rise. All we need to do is to contain the virus itself. So we must show discipline in whatever we do and develop a positive and healthy mindset. Let us not hesitate to get vaccinated because it will protect us from the deadly virus. Above all, let us protect and let alone wildlife as what it is, to prevent biodiversity loss and avoid its direct impact to our lives as what we experience today. And in order to make it, we must establish a policy or law which states of banning illegal wildlife trade to address this issue. If we want to prevent future outbreaks, we need to support biodiversity, not destroy it.